Oh, hello everyone, I'm Arcade, and welcome to the hardest challenge since NoFap. As today, I decided to dive back into my roots and do a Dark Souls challenge. This is all in order to find out if it's physically, mentally, and yes, emotionally possible to beat Dark Souls with only one health point. So after loading into Masochism Simulator 4, I escaped from my prison cell, and I'm quite thankful for two things. That being, of course, my newfound freedom, and that I did not have to share my cell, as I prefer not having my rectum inversed. Opening the doors to the eventual outside, I am met with a very angry warden, who is displeased at my escape, and at the fact that I am able to walk without a limp. In a move of pure retaliation, he decides to fly vertically, only for his wings to realize he had one too many donuts, catching a firebomb to the face on the way down. Now, having finally opened the doors out of the asylum and catching a ride on a giant crow, we are finally at Firelink. And while we may have gotten past the asylum demon, do not for 1 second even have an ounce of hope that this challenge will be easy, as by now you have surely looked to the top left of your screen and placed a magnifying glass in order to try and find the sliver that is my health. This becomes much too clear for me as I head to the Undead Berg, since even some lowly undead can give me trouble. No doubt I will be quote-unquote walking funny after this one. Yes, this challenge will proceed to metaphorically fuck me, as any and all attacks, even the most minute ones, will kill me and send me spiraling in a desperate fit of rage. What? How? What? Did the attack clip my balls? Is that it? Seeing as how any type of armor is out of the question in this challenge, I decide to go full glass cannon and get the red tearstone ring. We will then jump off a cliff, with the hopes of getting the Black Knight halberd. Military Knight Chunk! Let's go! Seeing as how we did not get the Black Knight halberd, and our weapon is this incredibly small dagger, which rivals in size the even smaller dagger in my pants, it is clear that I am in desperate need for a weapon. So I grab a bow and some arrows and proceed to shoot this dragon's massive swinging tail. Yeah. Having received both a great weapon and a dragon's dick, our next objective will be to ring both bells of awakening. So we head upstairs. Only to be greeted by one of the easiest bosses in the series, the Bell Gargoyles. The f*** was that? Did my character slip on a banana peel? Did he forget to mention needing knee replacement surgery? I want to know what happened. Well, looking on the bright side, now that I have been utterly humiliated, at least things can't get any worse. Ah, spoke too soon, did I? Now, having taken 2 Advil to cope for my lack of skill, I head upstairs for what better be the last time facing the gargoyles, or should I say gargoyle, as I've yet to even see the second one. Luckily, this will all change as I dust off the old dodge key, managing to both slay the first gargoyle and narrowly dodge the flames meant to scorch my balls. And although I am out of the way, the second gargoyle continues spewing fire. He's not the brightest. But with the first bell out of the way, we simply follow the delicate aroma of rotting carcasses and pools of diarrhea to get to Blight Town. Ah yes, Blight Town, home to murderers, insects, malaria-ridden mosquitoes, and these assholes who like to shoot darts at me. But wait, there's more! Even after getting to the bottom, I still have to go through this toxic swamp filled with every known and unknown disease. Ah, yeah, see right there? I just got hit with Super AIDS, Cancer, Ebola. On top of that, due to the nature of my masochism, I mean this challenge, we have to go the long way, ensuring we spend the most possible time in the swamp of diseases. But after finally making it through the swamp and getting tested, we are finally rewarded with Huelag. That's right, the most beautiful, attractive woman in all the lands. Just kidding, she's a spider demon who wants to kill you. I am now thoroughly convinced that all of Blight Town until now has been one great big symbolism. Think about it. killing gross insects, getting past creepy men, dealing with sicknesses, and just when you think you've finally reached the end, she tells you she's a spider demon. Gentlemen, we have just been fucking friend-zoned. I know, and while this is terrible news, we must act accordingly and maturely, like responsible and civil adults. I murdered her. Now, having rung both of the bells of awakening, we have access to Sen's fortress, and while the fortress isn't exactly difficult, it is filled with a platitude of traps. Luckily, I know how to avoid them. Luckily, I know how to uninstall the game. Having eventually gotten past all the traps, we make it to the very top. Having eventually gotten past all the traps, we make it to the very top of the fortress, where we meet the Iron Golem. It is there where I can do what I do best, and go for the feat. And my therapist said it was quote-unquote unhealthy and weird. But look who's laughing now, as I slash away at the Iron Piggies until my victory is secured. Now with that out of the way, I can comfortably take my first class flight to Anorlando via flying anorexic goblins. Anorlando, in all its majestic glory. Having made it here not only symbolizes the halfway point of our challenge, but also marks the beginning of when my teeth started getting grinded down in frustration. But why bother telling you? It's so much better to show you. So let's head right into our 100% Anorlando walkthrough to the bonfire. Firstly, we want to get a throwing knife lodged into our lungs. It's alright, we have 2 of them for a reason. Next, we want to pull the lever in order to unlock the shortcut. Lastly, we're just going to get past the knights on the and voila! You've made it to the bonfire. Congratulations. Now all that's left is to take care of Hannibal the Cannibal and his afternoon snack. Now, judging from Hannibal's size and the fact that I am constantly getting dashed from across the room, it would be safe to assume that he has a fondness for fast food, as Ornstein refuses to leave me the alone, constantly trying to make his kink of spear pegging a reality. Wow, I never thought I would agree with a statement from an ex, but here I am, screaming that the back door is most definitely off limits. Having taken care of Ornstein, it seems we have merely sped up Smoke's dinner time, as the next time we see him, he is noticeably larger in stature. But don't be fooled by our fellow thick boy. He packs quite a punch. But alas, after dinner, he is slow and sluggish. Ornstein must not be sitting well with him, as he will occasionally shit out a stream of lightning. Yep, Taco Tuesdays, am I right? Now then, heading upstairs for the most famous soup bowl in all of gaming history. Here's a little throwback for OG viewers. Hashtag personality. Having now placed the soup bowl into the soup kitchen, we can now head to one of the most vacant and isolated places in all the world, your local library, where we head to the very top to meet Seath, the librarian, who curses us for bringing in our decade-old expired books. Oh, but... Now then, normally I would just run past this enemy-ridden area. However, as I have 1 HP, my go-to strategy might not be the best. But then again, I'm stubborn and hesitant to change, which is why, even with 1 health, you will see me flop through this area, desperately trying to flip the right switches before getting killed. Fortunately, after many attempts, all I have to do is go down the ladder and... Gee whiz, I'm not mad. In fact, I love getting an arrow shot through my neck. That way the game has an extra hole to fuck me. Having finally pulled the lever to the shortcut, we eventually make our way to Seath. This fight is incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. Now then, 1 Lord Soul down, 3 to go. The only question that remains is where to go next. A forgotten city, a cemetery, or hell. Hope I packed my summer clothing, because yes, hell is the better of the 3 evils. We briskly proceed to take out the ceaseless discharge, as he is holding on for dear life, and since I just finished Lion King, that f***er is going off the cliff. Now normally, we would continue advancing through the ruins, but here, I'm going to take a slight detour. Instead, I head to the depths to farm rats for those juicy humanities. Now having collected 30, we give the rat-filled humanities to albino spider mommy to nibble on. This lets us go through the locked door, skipping most of Lost Izalith. Why do we want to skip Lost Izalith, you ask? Well, simply put, that's why. Anyway, getting to the joy that is the bed of chaos, we proceed by shooting the right side, causing her to become more aggressive. Now then, wait, what, why? Why? So that happened. Getting back to the boss, we shoot the left side and proceed to make our triumphant jump, scurrying as quickly as possible to get to the core in order to beat our second lord. Let's go. 2 down, 2 to go. And seeing as how we are doing this in order from most liked to most I want to rip my hair out, we make a quick stop at the forest where we massacre a wolf and pay our respects to a fallen knight.
Grief. Sorrow. Artorias is a furry.
Huh, I'll be damned. I guess he lived by the when there's a hole, there's a goal mentality. Now that we have paid our respects, I can race through the ruins of New Londo and jump down a hole that I wish would end my suffering then and there. That way, I wouldn't have to face my absolute favorite boss of all time, the 4 virgins. Yes, homing attacks, wide slashes, grab attacks, and there can be 4 of them. No doubt, this boss lives 24/7, rent-free in my head, and as I am fighting for my life, I cannot help but think that I would have had to go to jail, a shady alley, or this couch to have 4 men gang up on me. But no, Dark Souls just saves you the trip. Luckily, I managed to beat them in my first try. Oh boy. No, it took 3 hours. Heading finally to the last area, I run past a graveyard that has maybe 1% of the deaths from this challenge. I make my way through hordes of skeletons, jump down a cliff, and race to Pinwheel's boss room where I will be safe. Having finally made it to the one and only Pinwheel, I cannot for the life of me tell you how happy seeing this boss made me feel. Finally, a break from getting constantly killed over and over again, and as I prepared for battle, I am going to slam my forehead onto my keyboard until the keys are embedded into my skull. I can confidently say that this has never happened before, and I'm not happy about it. Now with Pinwheel out of the picture, we can get to Boy Nito and his horde of skeleton riders. Huh. Looks like someone failed No Nut November. Wow! I love getting pegged by a scythe that comes out of nowhere. Definitely in my top 5 types of torture. Heading back, I am over this bullshit and finally decide to bust out some pyromancies. So I wait in anticipation as he misses 2 slashes, which gives me the opportunity to light him up harder than the sky on the 4th of July. And by nothing but sheer, absolute dumb luck, every enemy somehow missed their attack on me, allowing me to flail my little dragon sword to victory. Now that we have successfully collected, and, might I add, somehow gotten all 4 Lord Souls on 1 HP, all that's left is to forcibly unalive an old man. Unfortunately, he does not want to go the old life support way. Rather, he wishes to fight me, like in his glory days. Now, my dear viewers, don't you worry. I'm not some ageist fuck who is going to deny an old man his request. I would never do that. Rather, I take the honorable route and smash his ribs in. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. This is exactly why my Tinder profile says nice guy in the bio. With that out of the way, we have just successfully beaten Dark Souls with only 1 HP. Thank you all for watching, hope I made you laugh, and have a lovely day.